Welcome back.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Megan.
You're listening to the Synchronicity Podcast. We are the Synchronicity Sisters. We help you change your brain to change your life so that you don't have to be your parents.
Oh, thank God for that.
Amen.
It's not a life sentence.
No, it's not. And if you are listening to us, if you are an OG, thank you for being here. It's been a long journey. If you're new to us, welcome. We have a lot of information to share and a lot of content. So binge our stuff, like, comment, share with a friend.
Let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, we got lots of it.
Tell us you want to hear about.
Yeah.
If you are like, I want to know about this or elaborate on that, let us know what you like, what you want to hear more about. We're open to suggestions.
Yep.
And we have like a list of 1,000 things to go through, so help us kind of narrow it down. You'll go to the top of the list if you make a suggestion, and our Dalmatian is having...
She's making a suggestion, and it's
life.
feed me. Or
it's not time to feed her yet.
I need a walk. Or...
Anyway, so today we're going to talk about a really fun subject. We talk a lot about like alphas and betas on here and the different energy frequencies. If you hadn't heard that because you're new, 80% of the population is beta and 20% is alpha. And 40% of the population follow the dark alpha, that is 10%, and 40% of the population follows the light alpha, that is 10%. So if you're an alpha, that's probably why you're here. Welcome to the Thunderdome. We make sure that everybody that is an alpha that works with us is following their divine soul contract or path that was laid down by your soul or God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, before you incarnated on this planet. And yeah, it's essentially following your dreams, following your passions, and stepping into your life. Dark alphas are very collapsed, but some of us have been dark alphas and then we became light alphas. If you're a hedonist, you're a dark alpha. So alphas that are evolved are stoic and are of service to the world, like us. That's why we show up here. You might think it's for you, but it's actually our soul contract. We're doing our work to help humanity. So we actually show up every day, yes, for your benefit, but it's mainly about us and fulfilling our contract to our souls, God, whatever you want to call it. So today we are talking about alpha mistresses because so many alpha women end up being mistresses instead of wives. Alphas have a problem because they're really good at doing things alone, male or female. They're like, well, I can do it. I can travel by myself. I can do this by myself. Like, we're so comfortable being alone that it actually, really the only thing that we need another person to do is sexual. So, if we collapse into too much of our own Miss Independent or Mr. Independent, we collapse into kind of the dark frequency of an alpha. Alphas are the most dynamic humans on Earth. Our masculine and feminine energy frequency is far greater than a beta's. Even though everybody's androgynous, we are far, 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 far more dynamic. And so our energy frequencies. And so we have more responsibility on learning how to control those and maneuver them. And so when you are a female alpha, you are a kind of an anomaly anyway, because alpha is masculine. So you are an extremely traumatized human being. Good for you, but that's okay because we are the most creative, fun, interesting women on the planet. We just have to learn how to manage our alphaness and not what we call whip out your dick at the wrong time. It's great when you're at work.
My dick goggles are over there.
Alpha females are extraordinary women, but we have to learn softness. We have to learn to develop our beta side or our feminine side. And that's why alphas oftentimes become mistresses or the playthings of alpha men instead of their actual wives, because alpha-alpha relationships are actually soulmates or, twin flames, whatever you want to call it. They're the love of each other's lives, but they often don't end up together because the alpha woman is out of control. Remember that alpha is normal for a man. It's abnormal for a woman. So we have to learn how to manage that.
Sit down.
You want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Quiet. You don't always have to be right. You don't have to be the front seat driver.
Yeah. And you don't want to marry a beta man because you'll get bored and you'll cheat on him.
As Meg said in a past podcast, talk to her in 2 years.
When you're cheating on your beta husband, because And the hardest thing an alpha woman learns is that an alpha man's not going to do it our way. We might be smarter and we might know better, but we have to learn how to sit down and shut up in a relationship because he's the alpha, he's the masculine, he leads in the material plane, we guide in the ethereal. So you have to learn how to guide feminine, not alpha material. You're going to get yourself into some very serious situations and cause him to not want to be with you. That's why alphas end up mistresses.
Well, and alpha men typically marry beta women.
And then cheat on them.
And then cheat with an alpha woman. Alpha women typically marry, well, in today's society, marry beta men and cheat with an alpha man. So it's real fucked. Yes, I understand because we did this podcast because Megan and I have both been the alpha mistress, whether we liked it or not.
I was not willing.
I was not aware.
I didn't
prior
know.
to, Megan did not know either. Neither one of us did. So, here we are. They were both alpha men, though.
They were alpha men. Yeah, no, I mean, all of my exes are alpha. Let's be real. Like, I have gone on dates with beta men, and it has been pretty much the funniest thing of my life because now when I look back at it, I was like, oh, beta. That's why I never went out on a second date because I was just like...
No offense to the beta males, but y'all are boring.
Oh, it's just really interesting because as an alpha, and now I can actually watch myself doing it. I actually went out on a date the other night. Well, it's been like a few months ago now, but he was a beta to me because alphas are on different spectrums. Yes. So there's like super, super alpha, and then it kind of goes down all the way to beta. So everything's on a spectrum. So every alpha has an alpha and things like that, right? Like our mentor is our alpha. I am totally beta to her.
100%.
But
She's
there's
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
I wouldn't alpha her at all.
Oh, I just
she would cut us off at our knees.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's funny. But anyway, but I went out on the date with a beta, and I was like, oh, it's almost like a shark that smells blood. Like I can see myself like switching into alpha because I'm like,
and then they're like, do you want to split the bill?
My dick is bigger than yours. And I'm like, oh, great, you want to be friends, too, because I'm also, like, not attracted to you.
Oh.
But, man, there's nothing like an alpha male. It's like my brain just shuts off, and I can just, like, be in my body and be happy. And he's like, we're doing this, and we're doing that. And I'm
paying for this, and I'm opening your car door.
I love this.
And I'm going to be...
But I'm going
to do what I say.
Be a terrorist. I used to be a terrorist, and it was like, oh, I need to prove how amazing my mind is, and, like... blah, blah, blah. Like, men don't give a fuck about how smart you are or, what you can accomplish or whatever. And because our dad loved us for our minds, I always thought men valued me for my mind and not just for feminine energy of being and allowing them to have a space to just be in the energy of love and be in the energy of sensuality. And you're a partner in life to feel good. I'm a feeling being, not a thinking being, but because we were always rewarded for our minds, I always thought that that's what men wanted. It's like, oh, let me solve your problems and do all of this instead of letting men solve my problems. And even though I dated alphas across the board, our relationship would always inevitably end. And that's because, alpha is an energy and, alphas are born. Hopefully you have healthy parents if you are an alpha female and you never collapse into your masculine and develop into a crazy alpha, ego dystonic alpha because then
you have to come work with us and you have to undo all of it. And you have to learn how to surrender into your beta side. And it's a fun process.
Yeah, you have to develop your feminine.
You got to change your brain wiring all over again. And you're like, well, damn.
So, alpha relationships, when we heal, that we are actually the love of the alpha man's life. He might marry a beta, but it will never drive him and push him into his full potential the way that a alpha female will. So when you get alpha relationships, these are the power couples that change the world, because their energy matches and they propel each other forward into the life that they came here to live. Oh, I thought you were pausing. Mm-mm. Did your wrist hurt?
Yeah.
But it's this beautiful dynamic that's unlike anything. And that is where you actually get those love stories that I believe that people write books and stories about. There's just, the alphas that I have, the ones that match me. Of course, there's always like, there's some gray area there, but there's nothing like it. The energy and like what you're able to create together, and like it's just so. It's in my opinion, it's the best thing in life, and that's why we do this work, is to help alphas find alphas and marry alphas and have these life-changing relationships, because love is what changes the world. And an alpha's ability to love, right? If your energy frequency is greater, then your energy frequency is greater. So your ability to love and change things is greater because you have greater potential.
Well, and both alphas have to be in light. You can't have a dark alpha male and a light alpha female. It won't work. Both alphas have to be fighting for the common good of them, like of the relationship.
Or want to change.
Yeah, there has to be healing that has been done where they've stepped out of addiction, or they're working, consciously working on bettering themselves. Or you can't have a dark and a light alpha together because it just devolves into a bunch of debauchery, even though they may be in love with each other. So one can't be working on themselves and the other one not.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because women can heal men, but men can't heal women. Because men are natural hedonists, so they're naturally dark alphas.
But masculine has to be willing to step into it, or they're staying in the darkness, is what I'm saying, is that both parties have to be willing to be doing the work consciously. You can't have one that's just doing the work and the other one that's acting like they're doing the work.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course.
Because it doesn't, like, you both
have to be willing to communicate.
Yeah, you have to be willing to negotiate and willing to do the work that's required for an alpha-alpha relationship, because it's one of the hardest relationships.
Yeah, but just know, as a rule of thumb, like, women, you can inspire men to change. Man, sorry, dude, find a different woman, because there is nothing you can change.
Or acquiesce to her.
Dark feminine. No. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you can
acquiesce, because most likely she's a narcissist.
Stay in the fucked
or
up
file for paperwork. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean,
and take your kids and protect her from the crazy lady. You can always
acquiesce, but you will be in wuss syndrome, and you will never be able to be a man.
And then you will become a victim to your reality, and it won't be good.
Well, and that's the problem with alphas, right? Is that they have a tendency to be narcissistic. You want to have your cake and eat it too, or you want to be cherished and respected all at once, and you don't know how to do the give and take. You don't know how to negotiate. That's why alphas are so dangerous when they go dark, because again, our energy frequency is much broader than a beta's. And if you're here, you're probably an alpha if you're still listening, and your responsibility is greater than a beta's. And we have a lot that we can learn from betas. We think that they're weaker, but actually they're way more well equipped to be on this planet. But we're here to change the energy of the planet and move us towards what humanity's meant to do. So we have a lot more responsibility, but with responsibility comes a lot more discipline and dedication and mentorship and understanding. Like it or not, you were born and this is what you are. So accept it, embrace it, and, follow your dreams, because your dreams are directly connected into the universe, and the desire of the universe is working through you. So, for alphas that want to date alphas, the biggest issue that male alphas have with female alphas is that alphas naturally, because we have so much masculine energy and so much feminine energy, is that loyalty, right? The worst thing you can do to a man is cheat on him. So we have what's called faking beta as alphas, is that as in a relationship, you stay in your feminine. Once you show a man your entire masculine side, he realizes that you're dangerous, because, men they say that men cheat more than women. I don't actually agree with that in today's current world.
Hell no.
I think men get
women
caught
are shady
more.
As fuck. Especially alpha women.
They
are so shady.
Yeah, and
especially
even if
they're a beta male.
Even if it's not conscious, again, you have to control that masculine side, because the alpha man doesn't marry the alpha woman because he's afraid of cheating. Our sexual energy is a lot greater than a beta's. There's just more responsibility there. So you have to be very delicate with your masculine side in your relationship, so that you never spook your alpha male, and he goes and finds a safe beta that he can control. So you have to be very, very discerning with your masculine energy, because once you present that masculine side, he understands that what the risk that you are. But when you're a light alpha, you have that under complete control. Your dick doesn't rule. Like, it's not about getting even or any of those things. Because, when alphas get in dick measuring contest, or alpha goes alpha, it's a fight to the death. So people start cheating on each other, and it's this crazy thing. So just know, like, loyalty is huge. I don't care what that other person's doing. You do what is right versus doing what you want.
We fight for potency, not for power.
Yeah, just a very don't ever go into the game, because once you go and you go dark, there is no end to that madness.
Yeah, and I think overall, it's the whole, faking beta aspect. It's not necessarily like, when I hear the word faking, I think of like, oh, faking sick or whatever to get away with something. It's mainly because you are fighting for potency within your relationship, that you are much rather willing to acquiesce to him. It's learning to acquiesce.
Yes, it is acquiescing.
Not faking and not being your authentic self. I just want to clarify that, because a lot of times people are like, hear faking as like not authentic. So you're being authentic within yourself, but you're fighting for your relationship by surrendering and acquiescing to your alpha.
So
as an alpha woman.
So let me clarify. You're overriding your default mode, which is masculine, because your father fucked you up and your mother was probably an alpha too, and she's crazy.
And she emasculated the dad, and so you're used to emasculating
You're overcoming your default mode, which is alpha, which is control, which is get even, to acquiesce and go into the beta, or the feminine energy of doing what is right
for the relationship.
What you want.
Correct.
You stay in your feelings, what feels good.
Yes.
You fight for potency, you fight for the relationship, you communicate. It is not, most alphas in today's world, their default mode is crazy. Mm-hmm. So we go into healthy relationship dynamics versus copying your parents. And I actually believe that there's more alphas today than there ever has been before. So we have to find them, help them heal, and help them recognize what they are, because there's actually also a war on alphas, if you're asking me. But, that's a podcast for a different day.
Podcast for a different day, but it's a good topic.
It's a great topic. But if you want to know more about this, because I think we pretty much covered everything, like, stay loyal to your partner at all costs. At all costs. Unless you want to call a doctor, a lawyer, or the police, then you can go into your masculine, emasculate him, whatever, if he did something wrong. But if you're not going to call a doctor, a lawyer, or the police, stay in your feminine. Acquiesce, like Nicole said. That's a better word than faking beta, but it's still...
Don't cheat.
Feminine.
Like...
And male or female, don't.
Just don't be a cheater.
I don't get that entire
cheating
thing.
Is... You have collapsed somewhere in your communication. Just leave the relationship. Whether you're married or in a relationship and you are bored or you are whatever, you need to look at that, because cheating is so painful to everybody involved. Save yourself some pain and agony and just leave the relationship.
Well, and once you cheat, you become a cheater, and, like, that's an energy frequency, and that's like going to prison. Now, like, put that on your resume and see if anyone will ever trust you again. Like, it's disgusting. So, it's just an important thing to understand, like, what you're printing basically on your forehead as a cheater. But anyway, I think that's, if you're on...
Yes.
If you're on podcast, or if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, please like, rate, subscribe,
share.
Do all of the things. Share.
Comment.
It helps us tremendously. Comment. Do your thing. We appreciate you. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe. Our channel is a baby. We started this company about 3-4 years ago now. But now we just started our YouTube, so please support us there. Comment, like, share. And get in touch with us on Instagram _sisters. Synchronicity underscore sisters.
Not Instagram. That won't take you anywhere. I don't know where you'll go on that one.
Yeah, just join us. We love to have you. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.